In today's video, we're doing ideas and inspirations to learn about geography, specifically the United States. I've got a lot of ideas in this one and they are fun. Hey you guys, it's Christina from the Purple Alphabet. I am going to show you a whole bunch of ideas on learning things about the United States. This subject can be a little bit overwhelming, but I pulled together some good ideas that I have scoured the internet for to bring them to you so that you can be inspired to do some of these at your home. Some of these are free, some of these are budget friendly, but I do have a lot of ideas, so we're going to get started right now. I first want to talk about some supplies that you could use. I'm going to be showing you activities for all age ranges, and you can of course adapt them to the age of your child. But I want to show you some things that you can find. I'm also going to put an Amazon link down below where I've kind of gathered a whole bunch of materials that are similar to the ones that I'm showing you. So if you can't find these exact ones, because I've been collecting them for a while, definitely check out that link for some more ideas. This is actually a Target find from years ago. It's like a placemat size mat, and it's dry erase. So one side actually has the states on it, and then it also has the capitals, and then the other side is without the labels, and so you'd have to fill them in that way. So this is dry erase, so you can write on it and wipe it off and do kinds of activities with that. But if you can't find something like this, or if it's not at Target, you can also find things like this one. This is a dry erase United States map. This was also a Target find years ago, but the thing about it and why I'm showing it to you is because they bring it back every now and then. You just gotta keep your eyes peeled. And right now that Target is getting ready to do all the back to school things, you're definitely gonna wanna look to see if they have it this year. This one was $3 when I got it. And it's the same concept as that kind of placemat I showed you. It's just larger. It's going to take up my whole screen here, and it's completely blank, but you can color it and write on it if you wish. And then there's also a map in here that gives you the key of the answers in case you don't remember. So I was able to find a whole bunch of these on Amazon in different forms, some already filled in, some not. So if you're looking for something that's this size and would like this, then you can definitely find that on Amazon. Here's another example of something you can use to learn your geography for US is a window cling of the United States. And this one actually has all the labels and also window cling forms, so they would go on top of here, and then also some arrows. This was from the Target dollar section, I would say maybe 4 years ago, and I've been holding on to it. I have not seen it since, and I haven't seen it online, but I am hoping that maybe we'll see another one pop up soon, because that's kind of fun to put on your window and then have all the labels on it. So there's something like this you can try and find. And then Target also had these $5 felt United States of America maps, and this is one that does come back for sure. And it also comes back in different packaging, so it might not be in the same packaging, but what we have is a little key here that has landmarks. So this map is more for the landmark sake, but it's really big, probably like the poster size, and you got all the states already written in, and then you have this package of landmarks in here, and so it's practicing where all of these landmarks go. And the thing about this one is that there's not one for every place, but for most places. So there's one for I live here, so you can discover all the things that each state is known for. Here's a really cute one for Las Vegas, and then we have the Statue of Liberty here. And what you would do is put these in the correct spots. So this one is nice for the map and it's super colorful, but then as your child grows and learns the states themselves, learning what is inside the state, what the state is known for, is also very helpful. Keep an eye out for this one at the Target dollar section, and I'll try and give you some ideas to use these types of maps for and landmarks for in this whole video for different age ranges. And then one more idea I wanted to show you. I know this comes to Dollar Tree a lot. If you're looking for a really cool way to do some activities, this is $1 at Dollar Tree, and it's from Crayola. And this one has a really large map inside. It's actually got several of them. And then there are the state abbreviations listed down here, and you can color it in as you're learning the states. And on the back is a terrain map. So it talks about the different terrains that there are across the United States. Now you get several of these in a package, so you only need one if you have several kids, but you can do several different activities with this. Just one set. You can just color it in. You can color in the states as you learn about them. You can mark them with the capitals, and you can use them for directions or playing different games. So now that I've shown you some tools that you can use, I want to talk about the actual activities. This is a US map puzzle. I've actually shown this to you a long time ago. If you're a true Purple Alphabet fan, you probably remember this. It's from Learning Resources. They had sent it to me for review back then, but we still love it. They recommend it for ages 4 and up, and they are magnets of each state. So they stick to any magnetic surface and they're a good size for the shape. And I checked on Amazon, they still have it. So I'm going to put that link down below because I really do like this one. So this is great for beginners, right? So it's putting together the map of the United States. But the thing about it is beginners don't know where the states go, which is why they have this great map in here. And the reason why I like this is because they can just place the pieces onto the map to get a sense of where things are while learning about the name of the state. And then there's also some pictures on here that talk about what that state's known for. We have cowboy boots, we have the Alamo here on Texas. California has the Golden State Bridge and it's a surfboard for surfing. And so this is a really easy way for that 4, 5, 6-year-old to really get custom and familiar with the different states. And then using the map to place them on there will help with placement before they're ready to do that next step, knowing where all the states are. So definitely if you get this, keep this map because you're going to need it, and you can put the magnets right on top of it, and that's very helpful. Another fun thing to do with the young ones are to use the Safari LTD tubes. This one is actually a super tube, and it's a little bit bigger than the regular size tubes, and this one's the USA one. And if you know me, you know I love the Safari LTD tubes. One, because the quality is just amazing, and two, because they're very realistic looking. Every tube that I've ever gotten from them, everything has great detail and has been wonderful quality. So you're getting a really nice product here. Of course, I do always have that coupon code for Safari LTD. You can find some good deals at them at Michael's or on Amazon, but really their website has the best selection and they're always having sales. And then you can use my coupon code that's down below too. So they did send me this tube because I was making this video and I thought it would be perfect. So we have things like the Statue of Liberty, the Liberty Bell, Mount Rushmore is over here. We have the Eagle. It was at the Capitol building, the White House. We even have the St. Louis Arch over here. So lots of popular landmarks in the United States. So this is one fun to explore and to learn about each one of these. But then you can also do some kind of Montessori inspired games. I found this free printable online, and although it's not perfect, it's pretty darn close. And because it was free, I wanted to include it. So they give you a couple of sheets of famous landmarks on one side and then with the picture, and then on the other side they have it written out in the name form. So I went ahead and cut out a couple of them that apply and match up to the tubes. Now they don't all match. There's some extras, and then they don't have a picture for everything listed on here. Also, these aren't true Montessori 3-part cards. Montessori 3-part cards have the name listed on the card, and then they have another card that doesn't have the name. So it's not truly Montessori, but it is very Montessori inspired. And I'm going to show you some ways to use this set. But if you want the true Montessori cards, I have a whole video I'm going to put up here in the corner on how to use Montessori 3-part cards, and you could use it with these tubes. And then you can make your own Montessori 3-part cards. There's actually a free printable where you can add the pictures. You have to go find the pictures and print out the names, but it'll be worth it if you have this set and you want that true Montessori thing going on there. So I will put that down below to get that free printable where you can make your own Montessori 3-part cards. But if you don't want to do that, there is this option. I cut out the ones that were applicable. So you can do this a couple different ways, and you can place down the pictures and you can do an object to picture match. So here's the Statue of Liberty. So that would go on that one. And this is perfect for that preschool age. Here's the White House. Here, and then I have one for the St. Louis Arch here. If you wanted to, you can also include the labels for each one of these next to it. So you're also learning the name of each one. Or if you wanted to, and this became too easy, you can make it a little bit harder by taking away the picture so they don't see what it is and just doing the labels where they have to match up to the name. So you have some couple variations. And of course, if you made those Montessori 3-part cards, you have more options too. So this is a great introductory to all of these landmarks that are very popular in the United States, and plus you have the tubes and the manipulatives to hold and examine and learn about. Another fun idea with this is if you take away these cards and you have an older child who's able to research, fun thing to do is kind of put these in a bag, mix them up, pull one out, and then do research on that one. And then the next week or another lesson, pull another one out and do research on that other landmark. Go to YouTube, go online. Some of these might even have some virtual experiences and virtual field trips where you can explore some of these a little bit closer and in detail and just focus on that one landmark and that one state. You can also bring in some of those blank maps that I showed you. Well, actually, this one's not blanks, but those maps that I showed you. And you can plot these in the correct spots. So the St. Louis Arch can go over here in Missouri on the Missouri spot, and you can put Mount Rushmore over here in South Dakota. and then you can plot all the other ones. So this would be more of an advanced activity using those Safari LTD tubes. Next up is a game. This one's for ages 8 and up. It's a little bit older. It's from University Games. It's called Race Across the USA, and I've actually shown you this one before because I think it's excellent. And it is a board game, so it has the board of the United States, and you can tell we've been playing with it with our cards. And they have all of these cards that are leveled. So we have the 3rd and 4th grade level, and there's also in here 5th grade and up. They just say here on the bottom which one's which. And basically you have all of these state cards. I can organize this a little bit better here. Each person gets a scorecard, and these are the states that they're going to have to visit, and they're going to draw all of their state cards from the pile of states. So we have a couple different states here, all color coded. We have little markers here that go on, they're little airplanes that go on the board when we play. But the objective is to hit all of the state within a certain amount of moves, and we roll a die and move our little airplane across the board. And then once we do that and we hit the states, we get to collect our cards and put them on our game board and win. Now, as we do that, we're answering questions on here in order to gain our cards. And so we're learning about different things about each state, each landmark, where things are, the facts about each state, but then we're also learning location of where the states are because they have to find where their plane's going. So they might have to travel from California all the way to Kansas. And so they become very familiar learning where the states are located on a map because they're constantly trying to look for it and find it. And then over time of playing with this game, they're going to know where all these states are because they've been playing it so much that it becomes very, very familiar. The one downside that I don't like about this map is that they made Canada and down here Mexico blue, which kind of matches the blue ocean over here. So you don't really know that that's a country down there. So that's the one downfall I don't like, but it's not a deal breaker. But you really are learning in this one, and it's fun, it's fast paced, plus you're learning all those facts on the fact cards too. So if you haven't tried this game, this one is definitely a winner. It's tested, tried and true, and I really do think it's fun, and then you're learning at the same time. If you're using one of those dry erase maps or one of those wall poster maps that are blank, or even the Dollar Tree maps as well, what I would suggest learning is to find your home state. So if your home state was in Kentucky, learn that that's Kentucky and you can find that on a map. Then slowly work your way to surrounding states around you until you learn the entire map. So it's a very slow process. I wouldn't expect kids to know right away. Another great way to use these maps is when you're visiting a different state. Maybe you have states that are close by, or maybe you're going on vacation and you want to look at the map where it is in relation to where you live, is another way to explore with these maps. Always start with a labeled map and then make it easier. And then once they know those things, you can also turn it over and start labeling without. But just start with a couple states at first and then work your way across the United States. And then you can also work on capitals if you wish. I did find this printable online, and it's free, and it has all the 50 states. One card is the name of the state, and then another card is the picture of the state. So now we're kind of making a correlation between the state shape and the state name. So I didn't print them all out, but just to give you a sample of what's included in this one, I just printed out a couple pages. But if you're going to do this activity, and I recommend it because it is a free printable, I think you just have to give your email address. But if you do this activity, start with a couple. Start with a few here and there. Start with your home state and work your way. Like I said, if you're using the map, start with your home state and work your way around with surrounding states to recognize those shapes to the point where you get to know all of them. There's California. That's my home state. You can laminate these cards and reuse them over and over again, especially if you have multiple kids that you want to go with these. Maybe you're a teacher and you wanted to use them over and over and over again. So this is matching up the states with the shape with the state name. And I also wanted to note on here, there's a little dot on each one of these that does show where the capital is located in that state. Also with these maps, it's really fun where you can say, okay, can you find Texas, and try to match and point to Texas or color it in, kind of like a bingo game. You could fill up the map with states that you've been in, or you can fill it in with states that you've researched. So talking about states that you've researched, there are books, and I actually found this one, I think it was Target, it might have been Dollar Tree, but either way it was $1. There is a hardcover version on Amazon that I put in my store. So if you do want this one, then you can check it out. It's just nicer because it's hardcover. This goes through really briefly every single state and then has some facts and the picture, and it talks about it, and you can do some research on your states here. So this one's a good one. And then also at Dollar Tree, no, this was Target dollar section. These come back from time to time. They recommend them for ages 5 and up, and those are the state flashcards. So on each side is a state with some facts on each one, and then on the other side is a different state. So So what you can do is you can find a flashcard out of here about a state that you want to learn about. Here's Ohio, for example. Then you can find Ohio on the map, and then you can learn about it, color it in maybe to mark that you're learning about Ohio, find some facts about Ohio on the card, and then also in your book. And then what do you do after you learn your facts? You want to record it. So there's this free printable that I think is amazing. And this is like a notebooking activity. And they have a printout for every single state and a little fill in here. So this one's Alaska. You have a picture here and you draw it yourself. You put the capital of Alaska, the abbreviation, some of the largest cities. Alaska became a state in. And then this is something you might want to see. You might see in Alaska, the state bird, famous person, and then draw the flag of Alaska. And it goes through this for every state. Now, would I do a whole bunch of these at once? No, I would focus on one and then work your way through them as you go through all the states. And then maybe you can mark them off on your map as you do so. So this one's kind of combining resources where you pick a state out of your flashcards, find it and locate it on the map to mark that you're researching it. Do the research by reading the flashcards and looking through your book or using online resources, and then filling in the information to show what you've learned. Using a couple different resources here to do that combined learning experience, but that's a great way to use all these materials to reinforce that learning in a very hands-on way. And of course, if some of these things where your tubes come involved, where you can show and model with your tubes, that would be really cool. I'll make sure to put the link for this free printable down below too. I did want to mention this one. This one's probably for your more advanced state person. It's for ages 8 years old and up. It's from Skillmatics. It's called Guess in 10. And they have a ton of these games, Guess in 10, all different topics. But this one is the states of America. But what's cool is it's a game where you have to guess the state provided with the clues within 10 guesses. So there's a card for each state. Here's West Virginia. And there's some clues on here that you'll give the other person to try and guess what state you're holding in your hand. What's really great about this one is it's not too hard and it's not too easy. So there's different kinds of clues that will give you a different difficulty level. And then over time, after playing this game, you're going to be learning geography, learning about the state, and also where the states are located. So what we did with this is that we took a map, a labeled map like this one, and then we would play with the map because a lot of the guessing clues talk about map references. So it's east of, or we would ask, is it north of? And so we would use these together and we had a really successful game. So that's a really good tip to use with these. But if your geography is pretty good and they know a map, probably won't need this, but that's just one little clue to give you when playing this game. And you're going to learn a lot with this game too. This is also a great travel one. I think I put this in our activity kits before too. So Guess in 10 from Skillmatics. Also be on the lookout for these workbooks. These are for grade 1 at Target and they always come back. This is the United States World Workbook and each page has a couple different states on it. So you're just learning some really simple things here and some activities for each one, and they're different activities per state. So this is a good resource to have while you're learning. Maybe you are going in alphabetical order because this is an alphabetical order on each state, and it might just be a fun activity to do before you get into the deeper research. These are only $1, so these are a steal, and they also come with some stickers as well here in the back as you go through. So these are a win. Look out for these because I'm guaranteeing you they're going to be there now or coming soon for all the back to school stuff. Another free printable, and this one I'm actually going to have to flash the picture on the screen. This is a file folder activity, and a file folder means it's just using a file folder to put all the information. This is more in-depth research, and so this is a really great homeschooling project, or maybe there's a state your child wants to learn about so they can make their lap book. So it comes with a cover, and then here's all the pieces that go inside, and these get cut out, filled in, and glued onto your lap book. This is like a flip book, so this one has facts. So you'd color and paste this into your book, and then you lift up the flap. You have capital, nickname, state flag, and population of that state. State symbols, so that includes the bird, tree, flower, and insect. So that's one section that goes in the center. Then you have your state name, you have the history, you have the region, climate, and major cities. So these look like little flaps that you fold up. And then these pages, you color them or print them on colored paper, and you glue them onto your file folder, and then you put inside things to see and do, little papers that talk about famous people and famous landmarks. And then this goes on the other side. You fill it out, had interesting facts about the state. So I really did think this was a clever one that was free and that you could really use. And it's just one state that you're learning about and researching it. So I want to make sure I included that so you can go to that and find it directly. If you like videos like this, I'm going to put another one up here on the screen that I think you should watch next. You guys click subscribe to see more videos like this and give me a thumbs up to show your love.